Hello, and welcome to Your Money 2.0. I'm Christopher Viali, President and CEO of Cambridge Credit Counseling. Our Your Money 2.0 series has helped to educate tens of thousands of online viewers, including students and everyday people like you. This week's webisode is a bit different in a sense because our message is one of caution. Starting October 27th, the Federal Trade Commission's telemarketing sales rule will prohibit for-profit debt settlement companies from charging fees to consumers until the company has performed an actual service. The telemarketing sales rule applies to debt settlement companies that solicit consumers by phone and to settlement agencies that receive calls in response to these ads. Consumers should be aware that many debt settlement companies are already trying to find ways to evade these new rules, so you'll need to be on the alert. The FTC adjusted the rules governing debt settlement after receiving an unprecedented number of complaints from consumers who claimed that debt settlement companies had seriously damaged their finances. That's often the case because the people who participate in debt settlement programs are typically advised to stop paying their creditors and to make payments directly to the settlement provider instead. In a typical settlement program, the consumer's money is held in an escrow until a sufficient amount has built up to offer the collector a lump sum payment. Of course, it can take more than a year for the escrow account to grow to that point, during which time consumers continue to be harassed by their creditors and can actually be sued. It's also apparent that many debt settlement companies deducted their fees before they provided any service, or even proved they could successfully reduce the amount consumers' debt that's owed. Although these facts are alarming enough, it was the misleading content of the advertising campaigns waged by these debt settlement programs that really caught the attention of the regulators. The FTC has reported that settlement agency ads made over-the-top claims about how they could help people struggling to manage their finances. Some agencies went as far as to use the imagery of President Obama to promote a federal government credit card debt relief plan, even though there is no such thing as a government debt settlement or debt reduction plan. In an effort to protect consumers from the unscrupulous debt settlement firms and their misleading ads, this past summer the FTC released groundbreaking rules to govern the industry's practices. Unfortunately, misleading advertisements have not stopped. Unwitting consumers are bombarded with ads on the internet, TV, and even in their own mailbox. A good deal of the FTC's attention is focused on the advanced fees charged by many settlement companies. Beginning October 27th, any for-profit company selling its services via the telephone may not charge consumers fees until it successfully negotiates, settles, reduces, or otherwise changes the terms of at least one of the consumer's debts. Additional provisions went into effect on September 27th, requiring debt settlement companies to disclose how long it will take to get results, how much the process will cost, and to warn consumers that withholding payments from creditors carries risks, including that their debts could grow and they could face lawsuits before their debts are settled. They also have to keep any funds received toward the eventual settlement in an independent escrow account, controlled by the consumer. In an effort to sidestep the telemarketing sales rule, some settlement agencies are converting to what they are calling an attorney model, on the theory that an attorney who makes telephone calls to clients on an individual basis to provide assistance and legal advice generally would not be engaged in telemarketing. The belief is that in many states, attorneys are exempt from regulations, and so the advanced fee model can continue under the rouge of a lawyer. Many states have already caught on to this perceived loophole. For example, the North Carolina Attorney General's office took action against a Florida-based company operating in his state after finding that most of the employees are telemarketers, not lawyers. In addition, the lawyer fronting for the company is not even licensed to practice in the state of North Carolina. The Kansas State Banking Commissioner also recently issued a cease and desist order against an attorney model debt settlement firm, offering the following comments. our agency believes many of these companies simply rent the local attorney's law license in an attempt to avoid the consumer protections contained in the law, including limits on fees and charges, and in some instances, consumers never speak to or meet with the attorney. Typically, the attorneys do not appear in court on behalf of the consumer if they are sued by their creditors, and it can delay the court process and certainly cause great harm to the consumers. Beyond the attorney model, which I'm sure you'll be hearing more about, some debt settlement companies are also using internet chat to entice you into a debt settlement plan. Others are posing as survey companies. They'll send you a text message asking you if you're interested in reducing your unsecured debt and agree to be called on the phone. Many legitimate debt settlement services will be able to comply with the FTC's new rules and remain available to assist consumers if settlement is a reasonable option for their circumstances. If you are considering debt settlement or any debt relief remedy, your first call should be to a nonprofit credit counseling agency such as Cambridge Credit Counseling, where we have certified credit counselors that will work with you to help identify your best options for dealing with debt and regaining control of your finances. Well, that's it for this edition. As always, we welcome your feedback and ask for your thoughts and suggestions by emailing us at yourmoney2@cambridgecredit.org. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Christopher Viale for Cambridge Credit Counseling.